What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the It's Really Podcast, episode number 67. Obviously, my co-host Tyler will be joining me shortly. Obviously, he's got to take care of some stuff. So we're going to be got some interesting stuff to talk about as well, and also some TNA coverage as well. But besides that, if you guys are new, make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, make sure to ring that notification bell. And that being said, we're getting right into it. So obviously, with kicking off with TNA a little bit. TNA Hard to Kill was actually, I thought it was actually a solid pay-per-view this year. Because me and Tar, you're going to see a lot of more TNA content on the channel as well as well. But TNA Hard to Kill, I thought Scott D'Amore and whoever was writing the show actually has done some pretty good work with the pay-per-view. Obviously, we're seeing obviously what the rebrand's going to be looking like with TNA Wrestling. Obviously, they brought back the tunnel and stuff like that, and had a really good, decent setup as well. It's gonna be a lot of fun for 2024, not just for TNA, but also just in the world of pro wrestling um as well. And obviously, we saw some title changes as well for those who have not watched our Me Tires paper watch party for Hard to Kill 2024. But and obviously a lot of things too as well. And we're kind of seeing what this new iteration of TNA wrestling. Obviously we've got guys like Moose. You still got the originals over there with Frankie Kazarian, Eric Young, the Motor City Machine Guns. And it's probably some of the younger, I would say the younger faces within either the men's or the Knockouts division. By the way, too, which the Knockouts division, I gotta say, has been actually really some solid matches. Obviously with the women's Ultimate X, you have the Knockouts Championship match, even the Knockouts Tag Team Title match, which, by the way, too, which I know in the pro wrestling world, and I know it's one of those things that no one really gives two craps about. With women's tag teams, because let's be real, like that's one of the biggest things that I guess I would say, no one really cares. But TNA so far in the short, I would say the span of, I would say in the last 36 hours, give or take, almost 48 hours. Um, it's I thought they actually done it pretty well. Rosemary looks really solid, not just from the in ring work, but also looks obviously it's kind of crazy how she changed. Still got the same look when we look at Rosemary from this. I would say from say about a year or two ago, and compared to looking at her now, yeah, I mean, look, a lot of people are going to notice that. Yeah, she dropped massive amount of weight, but at the same time, Havoc is also, and this is what I've always going to respect about TNA, and obviously I didn't even tweeted this out that yeah, places like AEW need to take notes on how book the women's division. Because let's be real, and to be fair, yes, women's wrestling has not been a draw for years, and knowing that TNA has, I would say, a good history of highlighting the women's or their knockouts division, so to speak. And yeah, and that's even including the Dixie Carter, Bill and Corgan era too. So for those who remember that crappy era, so yeah, that really has been one of the things that is actually impressive to see. With in TNA, obviously Scott D'Amore doing some good stuff and obviously we're seeing not going to be we also officially saw a contract signing for a partnership with Lucha Libre Triple A. I know a lot of people who are into the Lucha Libre stuff. We're going to be seeing a lot of that with guys like Vikingo, Laredo Kid. There's probably another guy I'm probably thinking of that's going to drive me nuts, but someone let me know in the chat who am I thinking of. But what's going on, Kylie? No, you're going to see a lot of wrestling shows tonight with this show and also the Monday Night Raw watch party for those who are wondering. But TNA Hard to Kill, as we talked about on the show, on Saturday night, I thought it was actually a solid A+ type of show because look, yeah, I mean, look, there were some points in some matches, like yeah, there was some mistakes happening, which to be fair, it happens. Obviously, I think that was you got the triple threat X Division match, which by the way was solid. And Chris even at times has a tendency to go a little bit too quick. A little bit. Look, I mean, that's not I'm saying I'm not nitpicking, but at the same time, kind of, I think there's like one spot in the one corner that you saw, or for those who did watch TNA Hard to Kill, that yeah, he kind of lost his footing on this. I think the second or third, or I think the top second or top rope for whatever. If my memory serves me correctly, but you know, well, outside of that little mistake, that entire match was actually pretty solid with Chris Sabin, Vikingo, and who I literally cannot remember as well. But and also too, the pre-shows were actually pretty solid. It was actually pretty good. Um, with the system, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, or for a lot of people remember as Kurt Hawkins, taking on Eric Young and Frankie and the TNA originals. Overall, like that was a good, solid opening match. Obviously, oh yeah, we'll get to that, Chris. We'll get to talk about some Core J stuff as well because, like I said, we got to get a lot of through some interesting stuff this week in this episode. And obviously doing some little recaps as well. But now to another match that, to be fair, for TNA Hard to Kill should have been on the show, which was a TNA Digital Media Championship, which is no DQ match with Tommy Dreamer coming into that event. Taking on Crazy Steve, who, even though I saw him in I think one match on Impact TV, or when they were known as Impact, was the fact that fork spot, which I think that's kind of what's led up to this matchup. So obviously that was another title change that we saw with Crazy Steve, pretty much, and obviously, Crazy Steve hits the belt down his kiss, and really takes the belt off of Tommy Dreamer. But at the same time, I think I said even on the show that I was not a huge fan. And it's still going to take me some time to get used to the Digital Media Championship, because I always remember like in promotions like Ring of Honor, and elsewhere they have like these television championships, like their mid card titles. Granted, and I get why they call it the digital media, because nowadays everything is most of the stuff is digital, whether you're watching the show itself or catching pay-per-views and stuff like that. And that applies to every company that we're seeing, with WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, that sort of thing. And yeah. But obviously, and yeah, there was a lot, I gotta say, like I said, a lot of the matches, I know a lot of people are not, or there's going to be that very few that nitpick. But at the same time, most of these matches were actually pretty good and actually can get invested, especially like the Women's Ultimate X, which was the opener of the main. But by the way, too, which obviously Giselle Shaw, who, like I said, I really haven't really watched much of, and like I said, you're gonna see a lot more. Like I said, in terms of the TNA content, you're gonna see a lot with me and Tyler. We're gonna start getting familiar with the Knockouts division and who else is coming in, or who else that we're gonna have within the, within the men's division. But it's one of those things that's like, you know, but yeah, I mean, for those who did, pay the 40, and obviously, yeah, and that's kind of where the difference is. I mean, you could pay $40 for a pay per view, and me and Tara kind of talked about that, a little bit too. Like, if TNA is going to revamp, obviously with this rebrand, and obviously rebrand to TNA Plus and have their own, which was Impact Plus at the time, rebranded to TNA Plus, and obviously with the different tier options, you got the monthly tier at $9.99. Only downside is you really can't watch the big four pay per views, and that was Kushida. That's who I'm sorry. Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of, because Kushida is just one of those guys. It's like, once you see him wrestle, you kind of tend to forget in a snap of a finger. That's the way how I look at it with Kushida. But like I said, that X Division title match, I thought was actually pretty solid. I give it like the solid, minus Chris Sabin losing his footing, and I think the one corner that he was in, there was a possibility we could have saw that X Division championship change hands, and obviously Chris Sabin retains. It was an easy retain for Chris Sabin, I will tell you that much. But and obviously like Dirty Dangle PCO, as good as that was for me, that was an okay. Because I mean, outside of PCO being 56 and hitting moonsaults that let's be real, a guy like him should not be hitting for that matter. And obviously with Oleg Prudis, a lot of people who know who I'm talking about, or a lot of the former WWE fans know who that is. That is Vladimir Kozlov, who is actually going by his real name, Oleg Prudis, in TNA Impact. Which you're going to see a lot. I think every Thursday at 8:00. For their TV tapings and whatnot, and you're gonna see a lot of that. And then we saw a couple debuts within the show. Ash by Elegance, Let's Braille, meantime, we seen the familiar face. That's Dana Brooke. No surprise there, because like I said, me and Tara always have these mixed reactions with Dana Brooke because despite having the look, can she really wrestle? Can she really can she do the simplest stuff? Without really being messy. That remains to be seen. If whenever she does wrestle within TNA. And then we saw Dolph Ziggler or Nick Nemeth, very surprisingly, made his debut, probably on one of the bigger shows for TNA with Moose. By the way, too, that main event, which the TNA World Championship match, honestly, I had like no issues with the result, for that matter. And I'm kind of glad that I'm saying TNA, but Alex Shelley got his opportunity. Let's be real, it should have been a whole lot sooner. Should have been 2 decades sooner. Winning the entire damn thing, but that's a whole other story for another day. Moose, I'm sorry, but there's no way a dude standing at 6'5", almost just barely over 260 pounds, hitting clean ass drop kicks and just being like very fluid. And actually, for those who've seen me and Tyra's reaction to that, I don't know what else to say. Because here's the thing, like Moose is one of those guys that's like I've been very impressed to watch. When I get a chance. But just seeing a clean ass drop kick given by Moose, obviously taken it by Alex Shelley, and very clean, by the way, too, which hardly ever guy of that size hits a drop kick like that. But yeah, it really is mind. It's really crazy when you if you do watch the replay. If you do have TNA Plus, if you do, or like me and Tyler, kind of stream it elsewhere without really, well, let's be real, not paying the $220 per year type of tier for TNA Plus, which is kind of where the downside. Yeah, and I think a lot of people PCO, like I said, the dude at this point, the gimmick rocks. Let's be real, the Canadian Frankenstein. Now it's funny when a lot of people talk about that. A lot of people don't remember he was the fucking Mountie back in the 90s. Obviously, the early 90s. I think a lot of people forget he actually had. I think he had a bit of a story. I think a bit of a small feud with the Big Boss Man in the early 90s when you go look back at that. When he was when he was known as the Mountie. And yeah, and look, I can't really say much because look, I was a late 90s kid. I was growing up through the Attitude Era, that sort of thing. But I gotta say, TNA Hard to Kill in a nutshell, minus with a couple mismatch, obviously the small mistakes. It was a solid, it was a great show for what it was, that Scott D'Amore and company put on. And I gotta give credit to Anthem too. And yes, I know a lot of people are going to nitpick, say, oh, they're playing in a smaller venue, but I mean, you got to start somewhere, especially for TNA, who's actually revamping, getting back, hopefully back to what they once were. I would say in the early to mid 2000. I think if everybody remembers the heyday of TNA wrestling. Now with Dolph Ziggler, or I would say Nick Nemeth in particular, as he's going to go by nowadays. Like, are we really, like, people are probably wondering, are we going to see him wrestle on a consistent basis in TNA? Possibly, but we don't know if he actually signed an official contract with TNA, because right now he's actually kind of booked on a couple shows in the next couple of months. I think the one match he's going to take right now, I think he's wrestling Puerto Rico I think later this month. I think one of his appearances in the main event of that show in Puerto Rico. And then he's also going to take on Matt Cardona at a GCW event in Los Angeles. Let me see, because I actually did save the and Saturday, February 3rd, the Coldest Winter 2. We're going to see Nick Nemeth and Matt Cardona in Los Angeles for GCW. Because let's be real, if they put on a banger match, and Tyler actually pointed this out before, I don't know whenever you guys going to get here, that if this turns out to be a banger match, that should tell you that WWE's really kind of really dropped the ball with some of these guys. Like Dolph, see this and I know a lot of people say, WWE dropped the ball with Dolph, but look, Dolph, I really hate to use the word expendable, and at times he was expendable at times, but the dude could still give you like multiple multiple title runs. When given the opportunity, especially in the mid card, because the dude was not going to be pushed up to the main event. With guys like an LA Knight, CM Punk, John, that sort of thing with Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, that sort of thing. Like, Dolph is one of those guys that really has dominated within the mid card division, and you got to at least give him some credit, sort of credit of that. And yes, I think a lot of people won't forget that random stint where he actually held the NXT title for not as long as he did, and just completely, jobbed out to Braun Breaker. And yeah, I mean, if you want to get like a test run from Braun Breaker, that's one thing. But knowing that even Dolph himself, like, pretty much said, he actually wanted to explore elsewhere. Sent multiple emails, and we talked about this on the last show we talked about too. That Dolph actually wanted to find better, more other opportunities to work, and because the dude still got that hunger. He's still hungry to, put on good matches and actually and show his talent elsewhere. That's not the WWE, and I'm glad that we're going to see with Nick Nemeth and TNA, and now we're going to see him in GCW in February. Now, another thing out of this show, we saw the Knockouts Championship change hands to Jordan Grace. Now, a lot of people are not speculating, but we know where we've seen some reports where Trinity, that was kind of like her last match with TNA, because obviously there's been reports that Trinity might be making her way back to WWE just in time for the Royal Rumble. Can it be positive? Can it be true? We'll see. But I really do. But I'm intrigued. But I do think it's going to happen. Don't get me wrong. It's just one of those things. It's like, and Jordan Grace and speaking with Jordan Grace too, I've liked what I've seen from her, and let's be her husband Jonathan Gresham is also pretty good too, as well. They can't take away from that. But overall, I had no issues with Jordan Grace taking the belt off Trinity. And look, Trinity, from my understanding and from what I've been hearing and reading and stuff like that, a lot of people liked it. Some people didn't. It was like one of those things was 50-50, depending who you're asking. But knowing that Trinity's with WWE under a new regime, I wouldn't be surprised if she actually did go back, because, after the first time when both Trinity, Naomi, who else? Oh, and Mercedes Moné somehow almost blanked on that. But like I said, it's one of those things that's like, am I going to be surprised that she's coming back? To an extent, yes, but in reality, no. Because I still think those women that WWE's women's division needs more, needs better faces, needs better, upgrade the talent. Because there's just certain women in that women's division that needs help per se, and I think having someone like Trinity who's been around the block for a while, I think could really help. And obviously, we saw Mickie James is now the new creative head with OVW. Now, I think a lot of people remember OVW was one of the this is in the days before what NXT is nowadays, is that developmental brand. Because OVW at the time, a lot of people will remember, like we saw like guys like John Cena was coming up, Brock, Batista, and probably you guys remember from the Ruthless Aggression. Remember that OVW has produced guys like that, like main event type of talent. And a lot of people, there's very few that actually could care less about Brock Lesnar, but you got to at least give Brock Lesnar some sort of due for that matter. But I'm actually kind of glad to see Mickie James actually doing something different for a change. I think it's going to be very interesting, though, to see that, especially for the OVW's women's division, which I am going to definitely check out whenever they start doing, when they start putting out their TV tapings and stuff like that. Now, in terms of the expectations going to with TNA in 2024, obviously coming off on the right foot with like I said, with Hard to Kill. Now, I know I had to delete the stream. Not Hard to Kill, but the previous stream, because obviously, because we thought TNA, or they would start doing a go home show, which normally would usually like any wrestling company would do before their big events. Apparently, that was really not the case with TNA, which or obviously Impact before or actually TNA at the I think like on a Thursday. Was the fact that they were sort of rehashing highlights from like their different shows, like Hard to Kill 2022, Final Resolution 2023. It is going to be very interesting to watch going forward with TNA. Obviously, with like I said, you still got the originals with Eric Young, Frankie Kazarian. For those who remember the heyday, I guess you could say, of TNA wrestling. But outside of that, I'm very excited to see what TNA in 2024 will bring, because for me, even back then, it's kind of crazy that, minus TNA kind of trying to compete with WWE. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. And speaking of which, I got my other co-host, get the better, different overlay on the screen. And we got Tyler coming in. Oh,
why am I so tiny? Oh,
yeah,
there we go. Like, why am I so tiny for? But yeah, sorry, I was making a second cup of coffee and I was like in a debate in the group chat about my Eagles, so I was going crazy there. So I was like, shit, I'm 30 minutes late. I gotta hurry up, make the second cup, and get going. But what we talking about, brother?
So actually, I want to go over a little bit of a review, not like an in-depth review, but kind of give like
the gist of what we were talking about before, or what you were talking about.
Yeah, with TNA Hard to Kill 2024. By the way, like I said, it's
holy shit. You know what? Forget the gist. It's pretty much going to be the same thing I'm going to say. Holy hell, what a show.
And also, too, PCO at 56 should not be hitting fucking moonsaults, and Moose at 6'5", dropping
6'5", buff to the gills. A 6'5" Moose should not be hitting.
Trust me, like I said, go watch the replay. RB actually speak for itself, for that matter.
Like the fear in our eyes.
It's really
the fear in our eyes seeing this man 6'5", built like a freaking tree, hit a moonsault, or not a moonsault, a drop kick. 15 feet in the air.
A very clean one on Alex Shelley.
15 fucking feet in the air. Boom.
Who?
And you were young.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's been a lot of photos that both Bailey and Mercedes were
more than I was. Like, you were like, a 6'5" man should not be able to do that.
I'm like, should not be hitting drop kicks. And which was actually pretty. And look, I'm always a big fan of Moose.
Oh, I've been a
But just
fan.
seeing
I've been
what
a
he can
fan
do at
since.
6'5", over 260 pounds is
And the
stupid
thing is,
good.
you were like, he's built like a football player. He was built like a linebacker. I'm like, funny thing is, he played in the NFL. You're like, oh shit, really? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I never knew about Moose, because basically with freaking size, woo. Um, so, like I said, and yeah, Chris, I seen there's a lot of pictures going around that. Yeah, Bailey and both Mercedes were at the event, and
But
it's actually
it
pretty
was
nice.
more of them supporting Trinity and a lot of the women talent there because they were also supporting Jordan Grace. They took a picture together and posted it on the internet. Jordan did, and I'm like, I want to see more of this in wrestling, where every wrestling fan or wrestler supports other wrestlers and other promotions. They just support each other.
And it's kind of
None of this. If
crazy.
you're an outside talent, you're banned from the arena. Like none of that shit. I
And funny enough, we should mention that, especially with under the Triple H regime, that's not the case
no,
anymore.
because
Because that was the Vince
it
regime.
was because Vince.
That's
He's
the
been
Vince regime.
because it's because Vince McMahon. He's like, it's my company, no one else. Like it's
Like
stupid. It's 20
it really is.
in
Because when you
2024. It's stupid, and I know, like, albeit in 1985, everybody liked the WWE. Everybody wanted the WWE to be the only product out there because that's the only product that was worth a damn at the time.
yeah, that was available at that
That the
time.
NWA, that was it. But the NWA was seen as the enemy, and there was more tribalism in the 80s than it was, then, like now. There's still tribalism, but like
Yeah,
a lot of people,
it's not to an
a
extent
lot
of what
of
it was in
people
the
write that
80s.
off as just being nonsensical and stupid, and I'm okay with that. People saying, "Oh, tribalism is nonsensical and stupid." It is.
It's stupid shit,
It's
basically, in a
stupid. It's
nutshell.
stupid now. Like back in the 80s,
And
sure, but like now it's like it's
Dustin
stupid.
Rose actually tweeted this out. I think, yeah, Dustin Rose actually tweeted it out that stop it with the tribalism. And you have a lot of wrestlers, even like WWE guys,
Dude,
say it's like,
even
stop
MJF, the
it.
biggest asshole in wrestling, said stop the tribalism.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I know.
The biggest nice.
It's
Here's the thing. He's like, his character is weird now. He's like kind of an asshole, but he's also nice.
not really.
I'm like, how is this working? It's very off-putting. You're an asshole at times, but you're nice. Like this is weird. And then like,
And
but the thing is though, like when Adam Cole turned heel, it was predictable, but my heart broke at the same time. It was like
oh yeah,
finally, MJF is a nice dude to somebody, and he gets turned on. Damn. I'm like, damn, that hurt.
but going back to TNA though, like TNA, even here's the thing, like me and Charlie, we've seen a lot of pay-per-views and the
Dude,
spanning of what over
dude. And
years.
every kickoff show that we've watched, whether it's WWE or any other program like the Buy-In and AEW, we didn't care for that either because
But TNA was
they put in random matches that no one cares about on that show. But TNA, man, holy hell, they put a title match on there and a Steve Macklin match.
Rich Swann and Steve Macklin. That's a solid A match.
Oh, it's an A match.
Eddie,
Steve Macklin's awesome.
The system, which by the way, greatest fucking neat tag team with Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, dude. With the against the TNA originals.
And apparently
Eddie, Eric Young, and Frankie Zares. That boy, what?
Player turned heel randomly and joined the group randomly.
Yeah,
which I'm like, huh?
That was a good match.
It was a good match. But again,
even though let's be real, that digital media championship on paper should have been on the main card.
It should have been.
Look, I know may not. That's the only nitpick I'll have.
Because it's more of like a U.S. title. In like layman's terms.
Yeah, you know what?
If it's WWE, that's the U.S. title, but it's also a TV title. You can put the TV title.
Yeah, and I don't think TNA never or did they? No.
But here's the thing, though. The whole card of the show, the pre-show and the main show, were ridiculously stacked. So you couldn't move anything.
Like the opening match, and like I said, the biggest thing that me and Tyler we're going to get familiar with, because I pretty much, me and Tyler were kind of really more familiar with the men's division. It's the knockouts division, and now there's a lot. The knockouts division has changed over the years.
Dude, it's a tremendous change.
Like, I'm sorry, but I want to check out more Jody Thread's fucking tape.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. There was 3 knockouts matches on this card. All 3 of the matches were bangers. That
Oh
tells you
yeah,
how deep and how great that knockouts division is. That women's division over in TNA.
and at the same time, Scott Demore knows how to. And
Scott
even I said on
D'Amore,
social
dude.
media,
Scott
I think
D'Amore.
I think a lot of companies like AW need to
But
take
here's
notes on how to book their women's
but
division
here's the thing though,
properly.
is it Scott D'Amore? Because for me, he's just an on-screen authority figure.
But whoever he has as his writing team who's doing these doing these matches or whoever it is,
Whoever's writing these shows, man.
that's a big thumbs up.
Oh,
Actually, two big thumbs up.
honestly, if I had three hands, three thumbs up. Hell,
Because
four.
the women's Ultimate X number one contendership, fucking fantastic. With Giselle Shaw, Zaya Brookside, which needs needs a little fine tuning,
Yeah,
but I think
I
that's going to
kind of
come.
see why WWE like ditched her after a while. It's like, yeah, she needs a little bit of work outside of the company before she comes back because she needs a
Yeah,
little work. Like that's the same thing with Drew McIntyre. Why they gave up on him after a while because he needed a little bit of
yeah, I
work.
know. That's remember that really pissed everybody because remember that before even that really pissed a lot of people off back then too. It's
It pissed a
like
lot of people off because like, oh, he's an expendable talent. He has something there. There's something there with him, but something was
but it
missing.
just
But something was missing in WWE's eyes. That's why they jobbed him out, and that's why he was out of the company by 2014. Sometimes wrestlers they leave the company undeservingly so, like Dolph Ziggler, the
Gracie
Dolph
Jews, you ain't
Zigglers,
fucking wrong. Especially with them with the
which
competitors, Giselle Shaw, Zaya Brookside, Jody Thread. The first one had two women on her fucking back on a double
F5.
Samoan,
Dude,
double F5s,
double
both
F,
of them.
dude, Jody Threat, double F5 to two
I
women.
I
Holy
don't,
hell!
and I gotta say, man, Rosemary looks fucking
Oh
fantastic. Can
my
we
god,
just point that out
dude.
really quick?
And her reasoning, she gave her reasoning on why she lost the weight that she did. She goes, I don't want health issues. I'm like, that's understandable.
Yeah, I mean, I respect that, even though it's kind of crazy
I
too. That's
respect
going to
it.
be it's a different look we're going to be seeing from Rosemary, but the gimmick still sells the
I
same.
love her haircut though. I really like her haircut though. That was the big thing for me. I'm
She,
like, oh damn, that's
yeah,
a nice haircut.
and I even said the earlier in the earlier part too, like TNA was one of those companies that actually gives a fucking shit about their women's tag division, which I
They
know
gave a fuck,
nowadays in
dude.
2024 is a random thing to hear.
And every time, and after that MK Ultra versus the Rosemary and
Decay.
Ash match, I was gonna say it, but I didn't say it. But I'm gonna say it right now. WWE, take notes. That's how
They
you
really,
book
oh yeah, for sure.
that's how you book a tag division
And you
for
got
women.
good looking belts to show for it too.
Yep.
By the way, too,
And
I'm
then
just want
my
to point
boy,
that out as well.
over here, right, was making freaking perverted jokes of MK Ultra's gimmick.
Yeah, pretty much. Even
You're
though I
not
didn't
making
know that
perverted
was
fucking
Masa
jokes. I'm like,
Slam.
dude, stop.
Because and that's the funny thing too. Because I didn't know who Masha Slamovich is because that's the only one I still don't know in the women's division or the
Masha
knockouts.
Slamovich, she's like very
Killer
like
Kelly, I've
recent.
seen her tape.
She's very recent. She did like, dude, she's so psychotic. She was in GCW doing death matches.
Yeah, I gotta go
I'm
why.
like, Jesus. I'm like, I thought you were, dude. I was like, I thought you're pairing with freaking Killer Kelly as like lesbian psycho gimmick. I thought that was like psychotic in itself, but you're doing death matches in other companies?
Yeah.
Yeah, nope. Wouldn't be me. Would not be me. I'm not that psycho.
And at
Doing
the same
fucking
time, we
death
also did
matches.
see Scott Demore officially signing the contract, which, by the way, too, which is the first time we've seen a contract without ending in fucking bullshit
Dude,
in a fucking brawl.
I'm like, so when are you two bosses gonna fight? I give it about
That would
five.
be
I give it
funny.
about 5
that would have
seconds.
been funny as
Oh
all
shit, you're
hell
not
to see
fighting.
that.
Okay. I was like, I'll give it about 5. Oh shit, you're not fighting. Oh, okay, okay. Segment's
But
over.
just
That's the
seeing
first time
the
ever.
talent that AAA has, oh good lord,
Fakio, freaking.
where you got Fakio, oh boy, he's already making himself a household name.
Oh
Laredo
yeah,
Kid,
over
for
here
that
in
matter,
Philly
who
too.
I'm starting to really become a fan of.
Yeah.
Because look, at the before them, it was like, oh, it was like, it's just all Ray. Ray Mysterio was the kind of the biggest hot commodity, the biggest name in pro wrestling for decades. And no one really gives to, and the Lucha Libre style over the years, you can see it was starting to really garner a fan base. And now we're seeing with the revamp of TNA and having the official partnership contract signed and all, know what talent
Dude,
they got over there.
there is a bright future in TNA.
Honestly,
Bright future.
and I know I'm going to piss off AEW fans, but I do think TNA is going to be secondary.
TNA is gonna be back to where they were in 2010, secondary, or even before that, secondary. And And I know it's going to piss off a lot of AEW fans, but it's true because AEW
I mean,
has
truth hurts,
not
doesn't it?
hit. It has not hit. Honestly, honestly, too. Out in the back of my mind, when the TBS app failed on me the first time it came back, I was kind of glad because I did not want to sit there and watch AEW. That's how bad AEW has been as of
Yeah, and
late,
that's why you
you
guys have
know.
not really seen a lot of AEW content as of recently. And
And that's why we just brought it back. That's why we just brought it back too.
mm-hmm.
Because for like 2 months we boycotted it because it was just not that great. It was not clicking. Something was off. And turns out it was the booking side of things. It was getting too convoluted at times. Tony Khan was bitching on Twitter as
Which,
well.
boy, that was kind of the biggest talking point.
He's bitching to that the WWE's more success. Like he's bitching about a gender match for WWE. I'm like, dude, stay in your fucking lane, dude. If WWE wants to fuck up, they'll fuck up.
No,
Stop.
yeah,
Like, don't say, oh, ha ha ha, we're better than you because you made a bad booking decision. Like, don't do that. Like, like that's that. Also, the ball, yeah, that's also the reason why too that we've been putting off AEW because Tony Khan is
you
just
know,
a freaking mark, and it's just like, dude, stop, be a boss.
because why do you think? Because this is what I've always and Scott Demore. A lot of people, especially in the heyday, no one really liked him as a manager, even though it's kind of funny when you look and know some of the shit that he's
No
pulled.
one liked him as a manager. I feel like people liked him by booing because he was a heel. No one liked him. That means they liked him, man, because he was heel.
But see him
From
as an
like,
authority figure, and whoever else who he has as a writing team,
I
and
think it's
especially with,
Anthem. I think it's Anthem that owns the company.
but
But who
and
is their
I
writers, man? Because they're in their bag, man.
they
And the
and I gotta
fact that
say,
they were that the fact that they managed to snab the hottest free agent that early on in Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, crazy.
and and I talked about that too, and it's going to be interesting because we're going to see him because he's got a match coming up next month against Matt Cardona. Because me and Tard we're talking about this before the
I'm
show,
like, if this is a banger, then WWE's gonna see why both guys got screwed over, and they're going to,
and
yeah.
I talked about with Nick Nemeth a little bit too. Like the dude, like I said, I really hate the word using expendable, and that's and I said that's kind of how WWE saw him was expendable. But when you really look at what Dolph has done the last 20 something odd years, which I know is kind of crazy to believe,
Mm-hmm.
that's even shocking to me. He's been last so long as he did, which I'll
But
give him
here's
credit.
the
So,
thing, though. But here's the thing, though. They kept him relevant by keeping him on TV, and then at that point, I feel like recently he started to get like annoyed because if you notice like the latter part of his run in the league, he was starting to become a jobber. Like he was
yeah,
just starting to become a jobber before he got fired. And
and
that
it's going to
that
be
was
crazy
like,
too
yeah,
because
you
once
need
we
to slow
see
down. You
the
need to ask for
superstar
your
he's
release
going to
thing
be,
slow. But yeah,
that's
I
going to
was like,
piss.
but hold on, let me finish. But like but like when he started becoming a jobber, I'm like, you need to ask for your release right the fuck now, like right now, because this
And
this is not great.
and funny enough, we actually talked about it on the last show because he sent like countless freaking emails to the company asking for his release from the company.
And you know what's sad too? You remember that promo when he was in that IC title feud with Miz in
Yeah,
2016? He was like, you can get. He's like, you're a wrestler. You can give and you can give and you can give and you still get nothing.
yeah, that's
That promo encapsulated his career. That promo was what his career was. He gave his all to the business, to WWE, and to the
and
fans. He
hasn't received shit.
he still got nothing. And I'm like, that promo is now real. And this is why he left. If you want to know why he left, watch that promo. That's why he left.
And I'm going to say this too: just watch him become a true superstar.
I'm telling you, man, he's gonna get the Christian treatment.
Yeah, it's gonna
Because
be.
Christian, his this is the same trajectory as Christian. Christian gave and gave and gave, and all he had was one IC title run, and that was it.
Because
And like a
it's
couple
funny
tag team title runs.
because he was also kind of living in the shadow of Edge, who and got had a rocket strapped to him and got pushed to the moon, and pretty much, and Tyler puts it, Christian got thrown to the wayside, and we saw how that really turned out. With
But
Christian,
I will say this. I will say this. Dolph was the most successful member of Spirit Squad, despite all
even
the
though
bad
let's bro,
blood.
like him, he was.
Nikki, Mikey.
And have you seen Mike Mondo nowadays? Mikey nowadays, the
Yeah,
dude looks fucking great.
yeah, yeah. Even Kenny. Kenny looks great too.
I know it's kind of crazy too. It's like, damn, the fact
Kenny
that we
looks
see
great
this,
too, man. I'm telling you, that dude's great.
even though they got treated like absolute shit on WWTV, which for our entertainment, which was
Oh
funny,
yeah,
but
quite literally, because remember DX dumped a literally shit on them.
yeah, and
That
that
was
was
funny as
funny.
hell. That was funny. That
And
was
also talked
hilarious.
about the so and obviously, like I said, with Nick Nemeth at becoming pretty much the quote unquote the most wanted man, which by the way too, which sounds fucking
That sounds
badass.
badass as hell.
And just
Most
seeing him
wanted
wearing a
man.
TNA shirt, because here's the thing, I know it's going to take a while to get used to,
You
but
got but here's the thing. You have two guys with two monikers that sound badass going against each other. You got the indie god, Matt Cardona, badass as hell. Love that name. And you
which by the
got the
way
most
is
wanted man, Nick Nemeth. Awesome ass name.
on a GCW event in
At a
February,
GCW event next month. Crazy.
which is going to be great. So I also talked about the expectations. It's going to be actually. I'm excited. Like I said, I'm not going to set the bar super high, but it's going to be high enough to where if they get which I do think there's going to be some, we're going to see some consistency. And boy, it's
I think as of late, people have said TNA has been consistent with their booking. They've been very consistent,
and
very
boy,
good, and they've done and I feel like the reason why for they've been inconsistent from like 2015 to about like 2020, early 2021 was because it was the fact that they were trying to throw stuff at the wall that would to see if it would stick, like the whole reality TV, all the wrestlers living at a house and wrestling in their backyard. Like it was that was pretty bad.
no, yeah,
The whole thing with um it's like horrors the cinematic matches that did stick. The cinematic matches stuck. I will say that. Um like the K and Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy when they were the broken gimmicks, that was cool. But like I think the reason for their inconsistencies is they were just trying to throw shit at the wall that just didn't
and
stick.
see if it sticks.
See if it sticks, and half of
And
it didn't.
And to be fair, though, I mean, and that's why you guys are going to see a lot of TNA content, because seeing the direction that TNA is heading in, as I'm thinking myself, we got to start doing. We got to give you guys more than just AEW and WWE on a consistent basis. And after seeing Hard to Kill on Saturday night, say, yep, I think this was an excellent decision. Um, I don't know. I
Like
don't know
you're
how to
speechless. You're
explain
speechless
it.
over the show, but again, though, like we're just saying, man. Like there's a bright future with TNA. Like there's so much talent on this roster too. So much talent. Um, the women's division top tier, next to none. WWE doesn't even hold a candle to the Impacts. I'm
I
gonna admit it right now.
mean, WWE and
NXT
AEW.
are a close second, but like WWE's main roster don't even touch TNA's. Doesn't even touch them. Um, that's how good the women's division over TNA is. Um, I love that Moose is starting the TNA regime as the champ. I love Alex Shelley as champ. He was great as a champ, but you
Oh,
know,
for sure.
seeing Moose win it was really cool. I liked Moose as champ initially when he was holding the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, knowing that TNA didn't exist at the time. Well, now he's the real TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Now he ain't the fake one now. And people were making jokes about that, and I thought they were funny because remember, like when he won the title, he called himself. He didn't call him the Impact World Champion. He called himself the TNA World Champion because he didn't like the Impact Wrestling name
Oh,
in
and
character.
rightfully so.
And I'm like, all right, I get it because TNA sounds better. I get it. Um, but now he can call himself the real TNA World Champion. But I digress. But then you have the X Division Championship. Scene that's pretty good. The Digital Media Championship scene that's pretty good too. You got
Even though
Crazy
it's
Steve.
going to give me something. That's the one title that I'm still going to get from used to. I actually would
It's a
say.
fairly new. It's a fairly new title, so it'll take some time to get used to, and that's the right reaction. I mean, it's a fairly new title, but the whole thing with TNA is the fact that now with TNA back, it's more exciting now than you see like Impact Wrestling. Like, ugh, Impact. Like you like really associate TNA with success. You don't
Oh,
really
for
associate
sure.
Impact with success because you like after the name change, that's when shit went to shit,
Yeah,
pretty much.
literally.
But now they're back up, and I feel like I would give it a couple years, probably like 3 at the most, until they
Yeah, I
get to
think
the
before
bigger
you.
fees.
Yeah, and I know
Because
that's.
because what amazed me too was like in the Impact run, they weren't even selling out like little venues. Now they're selling them places out.
Oh, for sure.
So
But obviously, like I said, it's gonna be interesting to see what TNA is gonna be bringing and all that. So moving to WWE. So they actually we got a couple stuff from them. First things first, we're getting the Bruiserweight back. For those who have not seen the previous episode of SmackDown, um, obviously the Braun Brutes are no more. And as Tyler Bate put it, what did he say? It's like, what did he say? You got lost, but you
this
didn't
is
have it.
I forgot how he said it. He was like you. I think he's like ever since you joined the Brawling Brutes, you lost yourself or something. I
Yeah, like the
forgot
fact
how
you
he
don't
says
have
it.
an identity.
You don't have an identity, and then he goes, "You know who you are. You gotta find yourself." And then you have the close-up shot of just like Pete Dunne, like like in a way, I took it as like morphing into Pete Dunne. That's how I look at it. Because like
Oh
as
yeah.
the camera's like panning closer and closer, and he's getting more angry and angry. And the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne, he's an angry character.
Oh,
He's
for
not happy.
sure.
He wants to break people's freaking limbs off, even the fingers. All right, like he wants to break people's limbs off. That's the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. So with that,
But
it's like okay, he's back. As soon as you saw his face, he's back. But it's like they teased us too, because it's like say who you are, and then they just pan to Pete Dunne, and it's like a close up shot, and then they just blacked it out. He didn't say shit. He was gonna say something, and then it just blacked out. So they're teasing Pete Dunne back,
and
and the general consensus of wrestling fans, I've seen different reactions to it, like for like different watch parties, people's clips of watch parties, and I've seen everybody say, "Oh yeah, Pete Dunne's back." Like the general consensus is Pete Dunne is back.
oh, for sure.
So
And 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 WWE, and like I said, they've been on our back too, and which is actually pretty great to see.
yeah,
And
WWE's been red hot too. Like
and now TNA, they're starting to pick up some footing. It's like
I've
I was
again
like, boy,
we're starting to see a renaissance in wrestling. The only company that's not really hitting right now is AEW. But every Renaissance era, there's been a flop.
Yeah.
There's been a company that hasn't hit. But there's always been a company there, but the majority of the companies have been, red hot. And combine every wrestling company that's on TV right now being great, combine that with how popular the indie scene is now. We're in
Oh
a
yeah, and the Indies are.
we are in a set I think a second or third wrestling boom. Actually, I think it's the third because the Attitude Era was the second wrestling boom.
Oh yeah.
We're in our third wrestling boom. I'm seeing it right now. We are in a third wrestling period where we're in a boom right now.
Oh, for sure.
And as a
And
wrestling
sticking with
fan,
WWE.
I love to see it.
Oh,
Sorry, I was like
but
getting
yeah, you're.
notifications. Like your ass keeps sending me freaking TikToks every hour on the hour. Damn it, Rob.
but but obviously since we're talking about Trinity though, was the fact that and obviously we saw that in TNA, her last match was her send off. Um, and obviously a great women knockouts title match at Hard to Kill,
Oh, I love
but they
it.
kind of really led a lot of people to believe that Trinity's actually leaving the company and going right back to WWE.
And
Hopefully in time for the Royal.
it seems that way. It seems that way because it's like we're so close to the Rumble. The Rumble is usually the end of this month, so we're so close to it. And at the same time, we have Trinity losing the belt and getting thank you Trinity chants.
Oh yeah.
Or no, it's actually thank you Trin chants. Um, because they just want to keep the cadence of bot bot bot, like not thank you Trinity, like doesn't hit that well, but thank you Trin hits. So it's like
Oh yeah.
she got that, but then I find it funny too because there was like there was like a fan view of the thank you chants, and people were yelling, "Go back to the Rumble, come back to the Rumble," and it made me laugh because it's like everybody knows she's going to the Rumble at this point because of like
Oh
the
yeah.
stars are aligning here. Like I said, she loses the title the same month the Rumble is going to be, held in January. It's a January pay per view, so it's like she's going to be at the Rumble for sure. She's definitely going to be there. Um,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, that was a banger. It was a banger match. And they got a reaction out of us at times. Like the spike DDT with her legs on the apron. That spot
Oh
was
yeah.
freaking awesome as hell. Like, also like, you know, Jordan Grace. She's a great talent for sure. I've loved Jordan Grace in the ring since like she debuted. I'm like, she's a great freaking talent. She's a great freaking talent that they have for her. Um,
Oh, I agree, 100%.
she was the first digital media champion. She's like a multiple time knockouts champion now.
Knockouts.
It's crazy.
It really is, and the fact that Jordan Grayson herself, it was another one in the TNA's knockouts division. Actually made a slight transformation to her body size because remember from like I think the last couple of years, like she was not muscular, but she had, or currently right now she's got a body like a bodybuilder's type of look. Is basically what I was going to say. Because I'm not going to say she was fat back then, but just you got to look
She
at how
was
what she
more
was.
so she was more so less tone and more heavy set.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
wasn't fat.
that's the best.
By all means, she wasn't fat. She was like she was just more a bit like heavier set than she was now. And then she went down to being like buff as hell, built like a freaking mountain.
And just seeing her and with that new version of the knockout
He
championship
went from
and
dude. He saw the current Jordan Grace once, and he goes, "I feel sorry for you know who I'm talking about."
yeah, I mean I'd be important. I feel bad for any women or any woman, I would say that's a better term, better phrasing, who has to step into the ring with her. But also, I feel bad for Jonathan Gresham maybe if he ever gets on her bad side. But
But
that's a whole nother. Besides the
yeah, I
point.
told him too. It's like they're smart about it though, because they get into a fight and they call a booker up and they schedule a match with each other every
Hey, look,
time
that's
they have an argument.
and honestly, I know, and now nowadays it's like, yeah, no, it's stupid, but I kind of like it at the same time because like you can take your frustrations out on each other, and you'll be fine at the end of the day, which is actually pretty fun. So besides that, um, WWE, let's be real. Triple H, please make this happen. Can we see a partnership with this new addition to TNA? Because boy, I'm going to shit a fucking break for that matter. Because look, because we've seen, and going back to our point too, like we don't really seen WWE ever having partnerships that for whatever reason.
The last time they had a partnership with a company was in 1997 or 98, one of the two, when they were partnered with NWA and that flopped.
Yeah.
And then before that, they were with like New Japan in like the 80s into the 90s. I think it went from like 1985 to like 1993, I think, because they had Taker work a Japan show in the 90s. But other than that, actually they did have another partnership with Japan in the late 90s too.
I think that might have.
That was what I'm
No,
talking about.
that's
The
not.
late 90s Japan.
Yeah, that's
They had
because Japan. Boy, they got
it was
so
New
many wrestling
Japan and
companies over in
NWA they had a
Japan,
partnership with in '98, and then they just stopped doing partnerships until.
and we're seeing.
And then we saw like a mini partnership for the Rumble in 2022 or 21 when they
I
had
think it might have been
Mickey
20.
James come back in her hardcore country gimmick.
I think that might have been 21, if I'm not
I think it was
mistaken.
2021. They had her come back in her TNA gimmick with the TNA belt.
I'm thinking, and because we were streaming that site. Am I seeing this right? I'm seeing it
And
a
you were
TNA
saying, "Am
belt.
I seeing this right?" And I'm like, "Am I hearing this right?" Because I'm like, "Is that her hardcore country scene I'm hearing right now?"
Like that. Yeah, that's.
I'm like, "There's no fucking way." And then she comes out in her freaking her country gimmick. I'm like, "There's no way." And then she comes out and she's out with a belt. I'm like, "Am I seeing this right?" Because she has the freaking.
Right?
And then I see on the bottom Impact Women's Champion because they didn't know it's called the Knockouts because of course whatever.
Yeah.
They call her the
Yeah, I
Impact
mean.
Women's Champion. I'm like, am I seeing that right? They're actually billing her as what the what? And I'm like,
Yeah, it was very surprising at that
yeah.
time. And we all know Mickey James isn't one of the all time. Let's be real,
Oh, she's one of the
and
all-time
congrats to
greats.
her.
She's in the
Actually,
Hall of Fame for sure. If
oh, for
she
sure.
wants to
And
be
at the
in the
same
Hall of
time,
Fame, she's definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame. You can't tell me
I
any
mean,
different.
she's got to be
She's
because
got it.
she was part of that revolution where I think Lita, I think Trish Stratus also you got to put her in terms of the Trailblazers
It was
of
her, Trish,
redefining.
Lita, Victoria, Jazz,
Oh yeah, I forgot about Victoria.
Molly
Good lord.
Holly.
And
That's
there's like
about it.
very few sort of women.
Those are the 6 women I could think of that wrestled in an era that women were overlooked and
Yeah,
sexualized.
which is I know it's crazy to believe that we're so far from moving that, but when you go back, look at
They were the
the
trailblazers. They led the way for the current women.
and yeah, which is actually great, and also at the same time too, congrats to her being the head of the women's division for
Oh yeah.
OVW.
Hell yeah.
Now a lot of people don't remember, and and probably no one really have seen OVW, and I really can't blame you because the only way you can watch is on the Fight or the Triller TV is basically what it's called now, but still the Fight app. Um, because back then OVW,
It's basically Fight powered by Triller. That's how they
yes,
say it.
but great, good for her. And it's kind of crazy we're seeing them both a husband and wife and both as
That's big.
somewhat authority figures,
But
which is crazy.
but I already told you guys the difference. And I'm gonna tell you guys again the difference. One is a TV authority figure, meaning he's scripted as an authority figure on TV. He's not the real authority figure. But Mickey James, she's legitimate. She's the real authority figure. But you're just seeing them in capacity as authority figures, period. whether it's scripted or not. That's crazy to me.
Oh
At the
yeah, for
same
sure.
time in two different companies. Crazy. You got
But
one sick of Roman shit, and then you got another one trying to help the women out.
yeah,
But at least
for sure.
one, doesn't have to deal with Roman shit.
But yeah, outside of that, sticking with WWE though, they did make a change in production after Kevin Dunn left. So I know a lot of people.
hold on, correction. You mean Beaver
Beaver
Man?
Boy,
Beaver Boy? Yeah.
yeah,
Beaver Boy?
you can't tell me otherwise. The dude has a face of a beaver.
Yeah, he looks like this every time he smiles.
But besides that, eh, obviously with Kevin Dunn, which kind of was the final signal, I guess you could say, of the Vince regime,
Being done.
because seeing what Triple H and seeing what kind of the moves that WWE's been making production wise, which by the way too, which is fucking fantastic as of recently, but
The
need better
only
music
thing, the
choice.
only here's the production's better. I will say there's less, this when punching and kicking is going on, they're panning the freaking camera like madmen. But like the only thing that I still have a problem with is like during matches, like not even 5 minutes into a match, you cut into a commercial.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm like, really? You couldn't wait 15 more minutes? Cut it till
well,
there's a break in the action? They cut it during the action. Cut it when there's a
oh
break. Like
absolutely.
when someone gets thrown out of the ring, cut to a commercial. Because 9 times out of 10, during the break, the wrestler in the ring's gonna come out, bring in the wrestler, and put him in a rest hold for the longest
Yeah,
time.
that's
And the one thing I like about production is the fact that they combated this a little bit with picture in picture. I don't
even
mind
though I'm
picture in
still
picture at
not
all.
yeah, I don't mind it, but I'm still not a fan of it.
No one's a fan of picture in picture, but
Well,
it's
unless you get
it's
coincidental ad placement, which is makes some funny moments. So
like the one time Nick Gage came into AEW with a freaking pizza cutter and they cut to a Domino's commercial.
and Domino's got pissed off for whatever reason. It's like,
I'm
damn.
like, Domino's. That is the absolute perfect product placement. Shut up.
And but yeah, but outside of that, but the only thing I will say, but I think Raw needs better and a better theme than what they were given. That's my only nitpick.
Here's my
But
thing. Here's my thing with Raw's entrance themes. For me, I think Raw is more synonymous with rock music. They're using a lot
yeah, I
of rap.
mean,
Like they
go
used
go back to the early
they
2000s. You got across the nation
you got
during the
across the
Ruthless Aggression.
nation. In the 90s you had, rock music. Now
Yeah, like
93, I don't
literally.
count 93. That was like a startup,
Good lord, and that was
whatever.
woof.
For me, looking back at 93's theme, that shit was whack. All right.
Yeah,
But like WWE back in like 93 to like 96 was like whack. Anyway, so whatever. Um, but from like 97 to like 2002, they had like a Jim Johnston like created rock theme, which I liked. I liked that theme. Um,
nope.
but like here's the thing. But they started using a lot of like rap music by like 2014, and I'm like,
Yeah, it just
no,
never fit Raw.
it doesn't fit Raw. It fits SmackDown
Because
a little
like
bit.
SmackDown, well, and SmackDown only had like one good rock song. That was "Do You Know Your Enemy" by Green Day, and that was pretty much
Dude,
about it.
that was like the one time I'm like, dude, they're in their bag. They got a fucking Green Day song in 2010 for a theme, and then they're in their bag again in 2019 with AC freaking DC. And then they took that away.
Oh yeah, I forgot
Like
about that.
dumbasses.
Now, like I said, that's our only gripe with that, which it's stupid, as you could probably tell us. But
Like
yeah, it is
wrestling for
stupid.
me, it's not really synonymous. But wrestling as a whole to me isn't synonymous with rap.
No, it doesn't. You see a lot of wrestlers have like rock songs or sometimes metal for that matter. It's
Now
also kind of
that
crazy.
sometimes it does hit a little bit. Like John Cena had a rap gimmick, but whatever.
And the fact he has an album that's actually triple platinum, by the way, too, which
Dude,
is fucking
that
fantastic.
album is fire for no fucking reason, Rob. No reason. How the hell that man didn't get any airplay on the radio is beyond me.
It
Oh,
really
and that shit
is.
went
That
platinum.
should tell you, like, how look. John Cena may not be as talented as a wrestler, but a lot of people don't remember. Like, he's actually a really good rapper.
I'm like,
You know,
is
that's
he
kind of funny too.
shit?
But besides that, keeping with the production, they actually did hire Lee Fitting as their new head of media and production following the departure of Kevin Dunn, which honestly, you know, and good
For me, I
riddance
don't know
because
who the
let's
guy is. I would like to see a lot from him. Like he's early on in his tenure as the head production guy, but I've seen a lot of improvements too. At the same time, like there's
and
no
we'll
more the we're gonna pan the camera like Mad Men during punches and kicks to make it seem real. Like
and speaking of
no,
that too, um, when
like
Kevin,
back in the day, you didn't have that,
no,
and
you really
punches
did
and
it,
kicks seemed real when they weren't.
and here's and speaking of that, and with that too, you know, obviously Kevin Dunn and you know a lot of wrestling fans have we had are mixed reactions, and case in point, probably the most infamous moment is their treatment of Mickey James, and as everybody, and boy, that
Tra-
really,
the fucking trash bag bullshit that they did to
mm-hmm,
her.
that was old Kevin
Nope.
Dunn for those.
Fucking Kevin Dunn was a dick with her.
But besides that, so the impact of the hire of Fitting has become more noticeable over last week than, including last Monday's Raw and Friday episode of SmackDown, which obviously is the perspective that we did, and you can see a different quality in that.
Yeah, yeah. You see a different quality, but you see a better quality at the same time.
It really is, and but
Like I'm not
in
over
turn,
here getting goddamn motion sickness after watching punches. I'm not getting motion sickness.
no, you really don't, because good lord.
Because good lord, it's like they're panning the camera like freaking madman after every punch. Like, no, stop.
But in terms of the internal reaction, per the report from Fightful Select, that Triple H allowed Jeremy Borash. Now, a lot of TNA fans remember that
JB,
name. That's
JB. Yo,
put together a team at NXT over the last few years. And boy, thank God they did, because NXT as recently has been more enjoyable ever since.
JB as a creative guy was always a genius. He was the creative guy over in Impact or in TNA now.
Yeah, and
When
boy, and he's
TNA
put
was
on
in its heyday. Holy
the,
shit, he was booking
and all
shows
the
that were
matches that he's put
amazing.
together.
Like I love
When
JB.
done,
JB's awesome as a creative head over there.
but yeah, so and that's also one thing too. We're seeing better production, and it just seems like what Triple H is doing in WWE is basically cleaning up the mess that Vince and his crew kind of figuratively speaking left behind.
The company was in rubbles when he took over. He put on his damn construction cap and he's building that bitch right back up. Foundation on up. And he's doing an exceptional job. Exceptional. And I've said it before, man. I've said it before. I'm glad to be still right. Triple H is fan first, and I love it, man. I absolutely love it. And I thank Triple H for being fan first. Thank you, Triple H.
And it's
Thank
also kind of crazy to speak with the production. But have you ever noticed like the video promos that some of these superstars do? Case in point, like with
Well, here's
Kevin
the
Owens on that
thing.
Friday.
But yeah, Kevin Owens on the Friday. But let me piggyback off of one thing, right? Have you noticed NXT call ups are now getting vignettes?
Yeah, and a lot of
I've
people
been
actually are going to
clamoring
actually
for
know who these
years.
people are.
I've been clamoring for
We've been
years.
claiming that for shit for well over a few years.
Years.
And
Clamoring this for a few years. Dude, I'm like, this is why NXT call ups are such a flop.
that's what was our biggest worry, because they're going to find a way to screw it all up.
It's because there's no, because like the reason why fans are not buying into these talents is because
There's no
there's
vignettes.
no vignettes to show these people who the hell they are, so that people know who the hell they are when they come out. You don't get that. You do not get that.
No, you really
And
don't.
you haven't gotten that. And then after Triple H got the company again for the second time, vignettes for NXT talents. Hell, even for the newer talent or for the older talents like Kevin Owens. Hell, you even had the U.S. champ have a fucking vignette.
And it's funny what you mentioned that too, especially the vignettes. That's what it's not just for me, it's hard, but it's the entire wrestling community because that's what's been lacking for years.
Vignettes.
If you don't, and see, that's and to piggyback what Tyler said with the NXT, like say if Carmelo Hayes never got those vignettes, people are gonna say, "Who the fuck is Carmelo
Who the hell
Hayes?"
is
And
Carmelo
we're gonna see
Hayes? Why? Why
or
should we
who is
keep?
Braun Breaker or Cora Jade, which we'll talk about Cora Jade just a second because
My
I feel
God,
I feel fucking
I
bad for
feel
her. I
terrible
really
for her,
do.
man. I do. Yeah, I
But
do.
speaking of Cora Jade, let's just get right
Get right
into it.
into this shit.
Unfortunately, we didn't. So before this update we got, Cora Jade was originally was injured during the NXT Live event, which was very unfortunate. Until we got the update, she tore her ACL after she just came
She just
back,
came back like what? Not even a month ago,
not even a month and a half
and she's
ago,
hurt.
and
She's
now,
hurt. But albeit
God damn it!
the like the first time she left the company, the first time it was just to get her mind right and to get work done. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
But
if
that
you
was
if you
on
catch her,
her
basically a boob
to
job,
get her. It
basically
was just
for those who follow her on Instagram.
it was just to get work done because she wanted to get work done because she didn't feel good about herself. She felt good about herself, so she came back. I'm happy she felt good about herself, and then she gets hurt. Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah, it's
She finally gets her freaking mind right after getting work done because she didn't feel good about her body, which understandable. And then she gets hurt.
yeah, it's.
Oh my God, I hate it. I hate it.
But I wish nothing but the best for Cora Jade because let's be
Cora,
real,
please.
she's another one I want to see on the main
Cora.
roster at some point.
Cora, rest up, heal up, and for the
So
love of God, I hope you have better luck. Because oh my God, that's
I don't correct me if I'm. I think this is probably the first major injury she's had since her time with the company.
yeah, I feel like it's her first major injury.
Now, no, okay. So here's what I'm. Look, I'm not going to say because look, I hate when wrestlers have injuries. Case in point, Charlotte. Even though let's
Dude,
be
we
real,
don't like her
me and Terry give
character. We don't like
Charlotte a lot of shit for different
we
reasons.
only give her
But
we
you
only
just
give
hate
her
her seeing
shit
get
because
hurt.
she like we only give her shit because she refuses to sell and she wants to be in the title picture all the time. And WWE allows it. But like other than that, Charlotte the human, she seems like a nice person. So we don't hate her completely. So when she got hurt,
I was
we
like,
felt bad. We were like, yeah, this
because we originally thought because we originally thought that was off those moonsaults that she does that in football terms is basically a missed field goal. And then we
wide
saw a
left,
different angle
wide right.
or the wide to the right. But besides the sorry with the funny jokes, but when we saw the actual angle of what exactly happened, like her leg came out, I thought it's like okay, she might have accidentally torn her hamstring. Then we come to see that she starts screaming my knee. It's like, oh
Oh,
no, not the
and it
knee.
wasn't the fact
We
that she was screaming bloody murder my knee. It's the fact that she's
like
in
you
the
can see
it
the
was
amount of
in
the.
the center of the ring. She's full on crying, bawling her eyes out, yelling my knee,
It's
my
like,
knee.
oh, that's not
I'm
good.
like,
That is
oh
not
no,
good.
oh no, she's hurt. Holy
And then we
shit.
come to find out she got the triple whammy, which is the MCL, the ACL, and the menis. Or I'm sorry, it's the
MCL,
ACL,
PCL,
PCL, and the meniscus.
yeah,
And she tore all three. Basically, blew out her knee.
yeah.
And then we come to find out she also fucked up her neck too. It's like, god damn. And this is what worries me because Charlotte, she's and I'm not going to call her old because she's only 37, but this is
Only
this is like the second.
37. Like in your 30s, that's when injuries ramp up.
Yeah, And we're not saying that to be funny because
No, this is not funny.
Charlotte, she has a bit of an injury
Yeah.
history. Like this is the second or third time she's going to be out for quite a
I think it's the
while.
third. Like she was there. She got a prominent push, and she got hurt. She's gone for a year. She's back again as a babyface. She's hurt again. Back as a babyface again. Now she's hurt again. Three times in one. I think 2 years. She got hurt 3 times in 2 years. That's not good.
And that's concerning. That is very concerning.
That's very concerning.
And like I said, look, I'm pretty sure, Charlotte's probably a good person outside the ring. Like I said, I wish nothing but the best for her to recover, even though this really do give you a lot of shit for different reasons on TV. But then again, that's only your nitpick. But you just really hate to see him get hurt. Whether it's
if it's a wrestler we don't like, if it's a wrestler we like, we don't care. They're human beings, regardless.
Just like we are.
We don't want to see anybody get hurt. Hell, if Jinder Mahal gets hurt, I would be like, I hate it.
Damn.
Even
though, let's bro, I know a lot of Jinder Mahal has gotten a lot of shit over the years since he's been with the company, and yeah, it's. But like I said, rest up Cora Jade, because let's be real, I really hope to see her on this main roster, because let's be real, the main roster women's division needs.
If you look at her, she screams star. Her demeanor,
her Tiffany Stratton,
the way
Lyra's another one.
Who?
Lyra Valkyria, the current NXT Women's Champion. She's another one I can see.
I don't see it. Her promos are lacking a bit. I don't see her as a star yet.
There's potential with her.
I don't see it yet.
I
don't see it yet, though.
I mean, Tiffany Stratton, let's be real. She's got the fucking look for it.
Sure. For sure.
And obviously, we're going to be back with NXT as well for Tuesday night. So
hot shot.
Those were wondering.
The main fucking roster, for all I care. Tiffany Stratton needs to be on the main roster.
Honestly, I think the best way, because here's the thing, because the way I would say, if they're going to say if she's ready for the main roster, have her debut at the Rumble.
Yeah.
I know the Rumble's not the biggest pay-per-view.
But it's
no, I'm sorry.
But here's the thing, though. The Royal Rumble is a test. Do the people know who you are? Will you get a pop? If you get a pop, you're ready.
Because here's the thing, because who was it? I think who else got? Oh, right, that was Roxanne Perez. Because remember, she also got a test at the Rumble. I think a couple of years ago, and she had more of a pop than most of the. And we actually talked about this.
Every woman in that match didn't even get a pop. So that match was boring as hell.
Roxanne Perez did.
Roxanne Perez got a huge freaking pop. Huge goddamn pop.
I was like, wow, that's sad.
I'm like, it's not really sad. It's more so.
Okay.
More than half of the damn roster was already announced to be at the Rumble, so there was like less surprises. She wasn't announced. So I'm like,
and this is where I'll give Triple H some sort of credit, though, because he's actually done a lot. Because I know, let's be real, we're in the day and age where the internet spoils a lot of fucking shit. Because I know that pisses off a lot of wrestling fans, especially you in particular. Because you could always call me.
I fucking hate it. Absolutely despise it. I
go
on Twitter one time, I see a report. I'm like, well, I gotta report this shit because I got that spoiled from me.
Yeah. But here's the thing. But Triple H has done I'll give Triple H some credit, though. He has done a really good job of not spoiling shit, because as we said, he's fan first. And if Triple H, let's say, were to spoil a lot of stuff, most of that fan base are going to give him a lot of shit for that. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
And now, it's as of recently, we haven't really seen, major spoilers for that matter. It's like, oh, like this person's coming back and stuff like significant names. But WWE at times, they may play into. We saw that WWE at times can play into that. Say, oh, we're going to bring this person back, and get people. Well, hold on. Let me backtrack that.
They always just announce that they're bringing people back. They're bringing.
Yeah.
We're going to bring back this person. We're going to bring, and they always announce it. No.
But
you need to not announce that you're bringing back people. Let that be a surprise. Hell, you know what I want back? is the lottery thing they used to do back in the day.
Oh
Picking
yeah, like the draft
picking
lottery they always
picking the
do on Raw
ball.
and SmackDown.
Picking the ball is inside. There's a piece of paper revealing, shut up, stop thinking dirty. This ain't the Ruthless
I'm
Aggression.
sorry. I'm sorry. When you said that, the first thing that came to mind was Kelly. I think when it was it 05 or 06. It just came to my
07.
head.
07.
I'm so,
Can I let it
I'm
out?
so
Like, dude, what?
sorry. I was like,
In that moment, I would have felt violated.
I
Like,
am so
no.
sorry. That's the first thing that came to my head, and I just I
In
had
that
to.
moment, I would have felt violated. Like, no, no, you cannot.
No, but the
Um,
fact that Kelly had a big grin on her face, like, oh, that's just
but no, they grabbed
that
the
just
they grabbed the. I'm not gonna say the word now because you already laughed your ass off about it. They get the piece of paper out,
oh yeah, like oh yeah, because kind of like with the
and then
I
they
think
and
what
then
they
they
did in
and
the
they see their
draft was
number,
it
but they don't really reveal their number until they and then half the papers are gone already because most of it happens completely off screen too. Like the legends, they
yeah,
don't even show them. It
no,
just
they don't.
happens, like
And that's a good point because, like I said, and as I said, we're in a day and age where a lot of like these dirt sheets fucking spoil as shit, which that ruins a lot for me, Tyler, and the rest of the wrestling fans in this
but then
community.
again, because
Um,
of these dirt sheets, the WWE just says, "Ah, fuck it, we're just gonna announce the Rumble picks anyway." Like, just
well,
fuck
also at
it.
the same time, Triple H is one of those guys like he'll play into it. He may not reveal it, but he will kind of just like play it as a joke because Triple and see that's the thing too. I have complete faith in Triple H and what he's going to do, and what's kind of funny. I know we're in this day and age where like it's a lot of other shit just too. Do you remember that promo back in 2014 or 2015 where it said, "Oh, we're going to be tweeting this bullshit"? It's like, damn, ain't that some fucking truth nowadays?
I'm like,
Good lord.
I look back at that program like I'm part of the fucking problem.
It's like,
Triple
damn,
H
like
is
did he
fucking
see into the fucking
problem.
future? But like I said, we're great. It's actually kind of fun to see a new regime. I got to give credit to Ari Emanuel playing the biggest Uno reverse card I've ever seen.
Yes,
To Vince McMahon,
psych
it's
bitch, you're
the biggest
fired
fuck
the
you,
next
basically.
day. That was funny. But anyway, back to who opened the door.
Sorry, that was my mom
Oh,
coming in
what?
to say
We're
hi.
good.
And but yeah, WWE, I'm
Oh,
very happy, in the direction that they're in because WWE, yeah, look, the company has its highs and lows, which all wrestling companies they do.
yeah.
But the WWE, in certain, well, depending on who you're asking, there were some of the highest of highs or the lowest of lows. Because boy, me and Tyler can attest. Because when we said lowest lows, like what the
They
fuck?
are outright valleys. They are outright valleys.
Yeah, like there's no consistency per se. But now seeing Raw being consistent, which is a fucking first on some good episodes. Not great, but there's potential they
There
could
was
be like,
one. There was one episode that was a dud. That was last week.
yeah, which Raw hardly ever has under the Triple H regime. And credit to SmackDown, that's gonna need some fine tuning, but yeah, but we're gonna see a. Sorry, I had a burp coming on. So besides that, we're seeing a couple other former WWE talent going to make their one already made their debut at Hard to Kill, and that was just our Top Dollar. Now a lot of, and granted to me
All
and
right.
Tara too, we
All
didn't.
right. We didn't like him in WWE because the
Even though the
top
fact that
rope
Michael Cole gave him a
debacle.
light.
But then again, I kind of feel bad because he explained why that happened. He had like diabetes and his like
That's
legs
like,
gave out or
oh,
something. I'm like, I felt bad for dogging him.
because he said like he does it all the time with no problems. It's just
He goes, the day my legs weren't working for me because of the diabetes. I'm like, motherfucker, and now you
it's
make me
like,
feel
damn,
bad.
we're
We were dogging you
and
for like an entire year because of it,
and then
and
same with Michael Colbert, but Now we know
Michael
the
Cole
reason
was
why.
scripted to do it. Michael Cole was scripted to do it, though. He wasn't really doing it. We're really doing it. So we should be feeling bad.
Yeah,
I'm like, shit. I feel
but
bad
just
now.
seeing the kind of promo he cut on what's basically the kickstart to TNA, I think actually had a better his that was a very good, and I really hate to say it, but I thought it was actually a really good promo from him. Like probably the best one I've ever heard him cut. Or I would say, yeah, cut is the better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cutting a promo.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. Why am I thinking? For some reason, my brain's kind of say cut, but there's another term in my head that it just for some reason it's kind of like skip stop. But now the biggest test: can he have clean? Well,
Clean performances.
yeah, that's the biggest test with us. Pending. Hopefully, he gets his personal stuff under control. Which like I said, we feel bad for the fact that he had to deal with diabetes, and to those who actually know who have diabetes, well, not me, but
Top
it's
dollar AJ Francis. I'm gonna issue an apology right now. We didn't know.
no, we really didn't.
And we're sorry.
Oh, for sure, because let's be real, I want to see success with him because now, yes, Swerve is basically what carried Hit Row, and I think you also pointed out too, like, and even said too, without because him and Swerve were good friends. It's like, yeah, he even talked about saying, look, with Swerve leaving, saying they had no plans for me or the rest of the group, saying, and he knew it. He already knew that was going to happen. That was going to with Hit Row,
I
or we call
kind
it
of
shit.
figured it would too, because for some reason no one was sticking with Hit Row. Everybody was calling him Shit Row because
Yeah, the rap some shit.
the raps were shit, and
Yeah,
because the main factor in the group wasn't there. He was in AEW, and he's still in
and
AEW.
boy, look how the stardom with him. Um, and like I said, I wish nothing but the best for AJ Francis or Top Dollar and TNA because I think this is going to do well for him. This is going to do wonders for him, especially with the right booking, the right creative team. Because like I said, Top Dollar's not a bad wrestler by any means. There is some flashes he's shown to be a capable singles competitor. Can be an actual superstar. That remains to be seen. But if TNA, let's say hypothetically, can put him in the best position possible, I could probably eat my words and can see him reach superstar status. Because, yeah. So, a couple more things before you get to your guys' favorite segment, which is Guess the Wrestler theme song. ECW original and obviously legend Sabu plans to retire this year, which I'm kind of surprised he hasn't retired because good grief. All the shit. Oh, good boy. And for those who remember who watched the classic ECW, and yeah, Sam in the 06 too, which, by the way, the dude put it, like, if you're talking about a dude who can put on the line for your entertainment, Sabu is that dude. Um, and
This
he's got
man
this.
jumps on a chair, jumps on the rope, and then jumps on you.
And the fact that and that's the thing too, like he'll take bumps and and you can see this dude's body's all scarred up, all the shit he's been taking
This
over.
man got himself split the fuck open. You know what he did? He super glued that bitch shut.
That bitch shut. It's like,
I'm
and
like,
it's
damn.
like I've never seen a wrestler ever do that whatsoever.
I love him for it because he was like, I'm fine. I'm gonna super glue this bitch shut. I'm finishing this damn match for the fans.
Because quite honestly, and like I said, I'm surprised he didn't. I thought he was actually retired, but apparently he's still wrestling. Apparently,
he's still active. I don't think he ever formally retired, like ever. But health reasons kept him away from the ring for a bit. But I guess
yeah, and you could tell like the dude. I mean, the dude's old. Let's be real. The dude's been wrestling for like decades.
Yeah.
And I'll give him some sort of credit as too because like I said, was not a huge ECW dude, but when I got a chance to see him in 2006 of what he was, it's crazy. But knowing that this was pre PG, as well. But like I said, I think at the end of the day, I could see WWE. Crazy, call me crazy, but I could see him going to the WWE Hall of Fame at some point.
I see it. I definitely see it.
Because especially under the Triple H regime, because we have like a group of people that still hasn't been in there.
I
So I
mean,
go see that.
the Dudleys in there. I mean, they probably. I think they got ECW mentioned.
I
There.
think so.
Um, I think Tommy Dreamer should be in there for sure. He should
Oh
be.
yeah, and he's actually, it's
I
kind of
think
crazy too. He's actually
Sabu
still
should be
pretty
in.
good. Still pretty good at.
Yeah, I think Sabu should be in. Taz
So,
definitely.
honestly, Taz for me, I think Taz was the biggest what if in professional wrestling. Quite honestly, if he didn't have to retire early, the only dude who choked out Kurt Angle in his WWE debut at
But
Madison
here's
Square.
the problem, though. Even if he didn't retire early, Vince said he was
Yeah,
too
Vince would
small.
have screwed him.
Vince would have screwed him. He would have
Yeah,
been jobbed
that's
out. He
true.
would have left the
That's true.
company.
I
He would have left
completely
the
forget
company.
about that. I completely forget about
Vince
that. I
told him
really,
he was too freaking small, which I think is a load of bull crap.
yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit based. But and that's the thing with the Triple H regime. Look, they may look for big guys, but we're seeing the guys who are, I would say, undersized actually shine in this new regime instead of like the bigs. Oh, you got to be at least 6'5", say 250 plus, lean, cut, whatever you freaking want to call it. And it's kind of crazy too because it's kind of funny as we talk, and that's kind of what Vince will always look for. But the
Like,
fact that
bro
he
went toe to toe with Kurt Angle in his debut.
and choked his ass out.
Choked his ass out. That would have told me, you know what, you're ready. Automatically, you're ready. You beat
And
Kurt
let's
Angle, who
put
we
the
see as a
banger for
world
theme
champion.
song for that matter too. But yeah, so Sabu is going to be planning to retire this year, which is kind of crazy because I thought he actually talked about formally retiring, but apparently not. I didn't realize he was still active, which that's crazy is one thing. And yeah, like I said, nothing but the best for Sabu and what he does pre that. But it'll be interesting to see. Outside of that, Mustafa Ali, which I forgot to talk about this too, he's another one that's going to make his debut in New Japan
Dude, I am so hyped.
for the Windy City Riot event. Now, me and Tara talked. I think we talked about this last year, the show, the week before, that we seen got like where can we see some of these releases? Because I think we did. Did we call that Mustafa Ali?
I think we talked about it numerous times. And we just doubled down on it. Last
Because I
week
feel like Mustafa Ali's kind of,
we said his perfect fit would be in New Japan in the junior heavyweight division.
or in the or if you went to TNA for the X division.
Yeah, or that. But our big prediction somehow came true.
Was in New Japan, but
New
it remains to
Japan,
be
and
seen. Does he get signed to a full time
hold on,
deal?
whoa. Let me finish. Not only was it New Japan, it was the fact that he's in the junior heavyweight division. You could have placed him anywhere on the card.
Oh, for sure.
And you put and our prediction was completely right. Where he was going, what division he'll be in. That's pretty. We called it completely.
Oh,
He's going against
100%.
Mr. Plush Toy Man,
Yeah.
Takahashi.
But outside of that, I
Or
mean,
Tanahashi.
it's gonna be interesting to see as well because of what Mustafa Ali is going to be doing because the dude
And
has the
another
talent
thing
and the
too,
dude can wrestle.
I took notice and I messaged you at like wee hours in the early morning for some
Yeah,
reason.
I would. I was still sleeping by the
I
time
had
I got
just
your
saw it on
message.
TikTok. I missed the promo, but I saw that he was there. He's gonna be in the president gimmick that he wanted to use in the Wii, never got to use.
That's gonna be fucking dope. That really is.
That's gonna be dope.
So that being said, now we move on to your guys' favorite segment, which we do every single week. And by the way, it's my. I think it's
I
it
know,
is my
cause I freaking fooled your ass with last week.
fucking the fucking who was it?
Fuck was it? It
Yeah,
was
it
Drew
got me on the
McIntyre's
miss.
Broken Dreams theme.
Yeah, the most simplest shit that I could. Oh my! I still fucking hated myself for that. Um, besides that, before I get real pissed off and whatnot.
Don't get heated.
So
Don't
it is
move
my
on.
turn this week, and okay. So we are going to 2013. I'll give you
Okay.
we're 2013. This dude. Okay, I'm not gonna. I'll give you the and it's 2013 former IC champ, and that's all I'm going to give you. So the Lions
Damn,
goes
you
as
gave
a,
me a year I wasn't even watching wrestling. God damn it. Who was the IC champ in 2013? Damn.
or I was a former IC champ is basically what I said.
Former IC champ. So it could be any year.
Yeah, but in 2013, basically. So the Lions goes as
But
follows.
wait. My mind, you're making my mind all jumbled. You're saying any year, but you're saying yeah, but in 2013.
No, because 2013 is the year that this team came out,
Oh, okay.
and the dude was the former IC champ at this point in time, or was at this point. Let me clarify that.
Raw or
So
SmackDown?
I think he was Raw.
Okay. Okay.
I could be wrong, but the rich keep getting richer, the rich they keep getting richer, and the poor they got nothing left. But you want more blood from that stone, man? You just squeeze the bloodstone to death.
Oh my god, who the hell is that? This I legit don't even know. I've never heard those lyrics before in my life.
Need more time, or do you just
I'm
in the
just throwing in
towel?
the towel.
Tyler, you're gonna be pissed. You're gonna be mad at this. It is Joe Stone Carrymore for Wade Barrett.
See, I wasn't really into wrestling when Wade Barrett got big. So I'm not mad at that at all.
I mean, I can give you another one as a makeup.
Please, because that was that. No, I wasn't really.
No,
I was only around when Wade Barrett was in Nexus. That was it. And after that, I wasn't really.
that's orchestral. All right, let me do this. Yeah, if I sound stuffy, yeah, it's I'm
Dude,
still
it's
getting over some
winter.
allergies.
It's winter. It's normal.
Yeah. Let's do. Let's. Okay. We are going to do. We're going to be traveling to 2009.
Okay, then I should be able to get this one. 2009.
Okay, whenever. Click it. Hey, you fucker. Give me a second. No. No, that's an easy one. I think you're going to get that one. Here we go. Here's a one. Here's a good one. Okay, so it's 2009. This is part of this person was in the women's division.
2009 women's division. Okay.
Women's division. I think SmackDown.
Okay. That was my show back in the day too. That was the only show I ever get to watch. So
okay,
if I don't get this one, I'm slapping myself in the face. I'm kidding. I'm not. But
okay, so this is basically the first. This is the verse one. Every time I look at her eyes, I'm knocked out. She slides like a river on a rescue fountain. Jump on board now. Slide up and down. Nothing else matters as I hear my heart pounding.
what the fuck?
That's the first verse of this theme.
Who the fuck could that be? Who was on
SmackDown
SmackDown
Women's
in
Division.
09? I don't remember that. Fucking Eve Torres. I don't know.
You're right. That's it.
What?
You just fucking bullshit, Kez. That was
Eve. That was a Hail Mary. What the fuck?
You just threw a fucking Hail Mary at that. So it was.
Dude,
so the theme was called "She Looks Good."
My head was Eve Torres.
Yeah, it was from the WWE the music. It was from Voices WWE the Music Volume 9, which came out in January. You just threw a fucking guest.
I just threw a damn Hail Mary and somehow that
I
got
just gave you
caught.
the because by the way, when you go listen to that, go because that was the first verse to it. Because the intro goes as
It sounded
she.
like she was full of herself and like she liked herself. And all I could think about is like part of the song was like she looks good to me or some shit.
That's the song name. She looks good.
And it was like she looks good to me. And it was like, yeah, it sounds like she's like somebody's like crushing on her and she's full of herself. I'm like,
Dude,
that's Eve Torres,
I think that's
isn't
the
it?
first time you threw a fucking Hail Mary at something like
Yo,
that.
what the
God
hell?
damn it! Now, eh.
Try to fool me.
Because
You
some of the
tried to
other ones
fool me.
I was
You tried to fool me, and I got it.
yeah, you by a fucking Hail Mary.
I don't care how much luck I have.
Because the ones that I was, like I said, the ones that I was going to give you that was going to be obvious was Voices. Let's throw that Randy Orton.
Yeah, that song's a freaking banger. I listened to the full
I almost
song
gave you
too the other
I
day, so I
I
should
thought
know
about
that
giving
one.
you Kelly Kelly, but I don't think you were going to get that.
Oh, yeah.
Damn
Song's
it!
annoying as shit. Song's annoying as
Oh,
shit.
good grief! Damn it!
But here's the thing: the lyrics sound like she was full of herself, and somebody in the song is crushing on her.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. Fuck.
And the song is called "She Looks Good to Me."
Because on this album you had Voices, Pourquoi, which is Maurice, Man on
Yeah,
Fire,
of course, the French Canadian gimmick.
Kung Fu. I shit you not. Fu Song. God, why was that even a fucking thing?
Because
I wish I want to
Vince
forget
was a
about
fucking
that.
racist. Easy
I
answer.
mean, he had Holla, What's Up. I could have. Damn it! Sometimes my brain doesn't work. I could have gave you fucking Pain which is Vladimir Kozlov's theme.
It's all Russian.
I don't think you would never.
It was all Russian though, but they probably translated that shit to English.
Yeah, you know what? That is true. That literally, they got all the lyrics in Russian.
That would have made it even worse. I'm like, he never had English lyrics for his theme. It was all Russian. The second theme.
It's kind of funny too that he's actually he's from Bulgaria, which is kind of that's the funny thing.
Bulgarian.
And again, though
Bulgarian.
Even though then again, that does kind of make sense because Bulgaria is not near that Russian territory, but that's beside the point. They also got "Get on Your Knees" for Jack Sweat. I don't know if you were going to. I don't know if you.
That song's a banger too.
Yeah,
that was like his.
They also had "The Great College Land of Five Rivers." If you rock, so they have a SmackDown theme. If you rock like me. Oh God,
I forgot who had that.
I don't know about that.
I forgot who had the theme. I know the theme, but I forgot who had it.
No, literally, that's the show's theme for SmackDown in 2009.
Yeah, that is from 2009. That song was like an underrated banger too. That theme.
And they also got Priceless.
Yeah, I'm Priceless.
Which was Ted
DiBiase Jr.
Mm-hmm. God damn. Fuck.
Dude, I
tried to stump you when you threw a Hail Mary at it. Right?
You tried to stump me and I just.
You just fucking said Eve Torres and boom.
How did I look?
But then again, now like when you pick the lyrics, it does make freaking sense.
Like, oh, she's like a waterfall. Listening. I'm like, that's what the.
Like this screams.
I'm like, that screams. She looks good.
And
to me
when you look at
for Eve Torres, because the lyrics of that song,
and
she looks good to me. That's somebody's crushing on her. That's and the character is that she's full of herself and thinks every man is crushing on her.
Yeah,
like that was the gimmick that she had. But dude, I threw that fucking dude. I threw it up. I'm like,
you threw a fucking Hail Mary to see what it stuck.
God damn it, Torres, and it stuck.
Oh, next time I'm not gonna. Oh, I'm not looking forward to next week because I know you're gonna.
And I just freaking double down and freaking get this one this week.
You stumped me twice. It stumped me in 2 weeks on the most obvious themes that I should have gotten.
And then you stumped.
The Miz
stumped me with something. Oh, he won't get this one, and it's the most obvious one.
God damn it!
I'm good, bro. Okay. I'm good. I'm getting good at this shit. That was like half a second too. Eve Torres, you're right. What?
Yeah, because now I was
I'm
like,
getting good.
man,
I'm getting good.
yeah, that's
I'm
just
getting
pure
good.
luck. The
I'm getting
fall
good.
obviously when it's my turn the following week, you ain't gonna be so
Oh, bro,
lucky.
I'm gonna look for a theme, bro. I will look for one.
Let me get. I'm going to bet you probably have to probably give me the most obvious. And that's probably going to be skipping my
Yep.
brain. Because first of all, I whiffed on the Miz. Whiffed on Drew McIntyre, which I don't know why. How I felt.
I whiffed
Then
on
again,
Mr.
then
Kidney. I
again,
should have got that one. But then you try to make me whiff on
yeah,
E Torres. I got that shit.
like you
Yo, dude, hell yeah.
see, and that's the thing too. Look, I'm as much as I'm mad at myself for missing Drew McIntyre because it's been well over what, not almost a decade now, give or take, since the Broken Dreams theme. Because
Dude,
I'm being so
that's no
accustomed to
excuse.
what his current
No
theme is now.
excuse. It's been well over a decade since E Torres was in the business.
Good lord!
Come on, bro. Excuses. Come on, dude. Just admit that I'm better.
Well, so hopefully the week after, I got a
Just
couple
admit
that
that I'm better,
I don't think you're
man.
gonna get.
Just admit it. Admit it.
Oh yeah, that's a load of
Admit that I'm
bullshit.
better.
Because remember,
Admit that I'm better. You just throwing excuses out there. Come on, admit that I'm better.
and also, like I said, I want to give a quick shout out to Keen the Bill, who actually brought this
It's
idea
fun. It's actually really
to add.
fun. It's really fun. I love it.
God, I fucking hate that because I'm still pissed at it. Look, Drew McIntyre, yes, one thing that's because after a while, as soon as when he changed his theme to what it is now, like I can understand that I could completely forgot about it because I think we moved on from that. Now the Miz, I should not have been fucking. He
He
had that
still
same
has
theme for
that
fucking
fucking
years, and I
theme.
still
He still
couldn't
has
get
that
that
fucking
right.
theme. Today.
Fucking
In
ridiculous.
2024, he still has
The
that
only
theme.
ones I got you to whiff on was, well, I'll give it a pass on Christy Hammy because I don't think you were going to
Dude,
get her
all I remember
anyway.
from that song is the cheery freaking music, the beat. Fucking
Yeah,
cheery
like I said,
ass.
I'm not. I
Shit.
was not going to give you too much shit
And
for
the
that,
fact that
but
she would just
well,
she
Mr.
would
Kennedy,
just
but
skip
dude,
out, and the fact that she would just kind of like skip out to it and do like a little dance skip thing coming out to the ring. This cheery shit. I'm
yeah,
like, and every time I look back on it, I'm like, how are you dancing to this? I would have been so annoyed.
yeah. But I literally gave you the Mr. Kenny theme on a tee, and you completely whiffed on it.
But here's the
Literally,
thing.
the first chord. It was the first chord. It was the
I
chorus.
gave you Drew McIntyre's on a silver fucking platter.
Fucking platter, and I still fucking missed it.
On a
And no,
silver
sorry, you should have.
platter.
That was the miss too.
The Miz on a silver platter. Whiff.
But outside of that, because let's
Well,
be
I hit a
real,
fucking home run today. All right.
yeah, pure fucking luck. I've always got to say. But but outside of that, I greatly appreciate anyone who is actually going to see the replay of this. Like I said, we'll do this every Monday. Obviously, I'm not really feeling up for Raw this week.
Oh, you're not
Because let's
feeling
be
it for
real,
Raw?
nah. So next week,
Okay.
because let's be real, dude, I'm fucking tired all goddamn day. And let's be real, I'm enjoying. Well, that's awesome.
It happens, man.
And
You know,
winter makes me fucking tired for what makes me fucking sleepy for whatever goddamn reason.
winter makes me.
But
Like, the other day, I was so tired. I took a nap at like 5.
yeah.
Like I was that tired. So.
But that doesn't really and what's going on, John L? That really
John L?
doesn't stop us from the grind as well. Which, by the way, too, shout out to everyone who actually has checked out our content as of recently, because we're trying to get back to, I think we're one of our high points as well, and it's a slow process, which.
But again, we don't care about numbers. We care that we're entertaining you guys. That's what we want to see, is that we're succeeding at entertaining you. That's all we care about, is entertaining you guys. So thank you very much for
and
chilling.
And obviously, like I said, every Thursday, which what's this Thursday? Oh yeah, so
Thursday we got the All Star Sports Show on Thursday.
Yeah, I got the All Star Sports Show,
and then TNA Impact.
I think does TNA. I don't think
TNA's Thursdays.
Oh, God,
8:00.
Okay.
Thursdays at 8:00.
But like we said, like I said, we'll be back again, or obviously I'll be back for NXT, but I don't know, because Tyler is one of those people that I don't think you would. I mean, is even intrigued with NXT. So, like I said, it's
Listen,
always
I
you're gonna probably
listen,
see.
man. I said that I would be back with NXT. Then I was thinking after that, I was like, I don't really watch NXT that much, so I'm just
But
gonna
yeah,
leave
like
it
I
to
said, that's
you.
the
I'm not.
yeah,
I'm
because
never
that's
gonna
kind of my
ask you to be
thing.
on again because I am not doing NXT. So
But in terms of the retro watch party, that's going to still stay the
oh,
same
that's sticking.
as well.
I have fun doing that. That's sticking. That
Yeah,
Rob
obviously,
has
welcome to
fun
my
too,
era
and it
too.
seems like you guys have fun as well.
And so, but yeah, we're back at again in a retro SmackDown for September 30th, 1999. So, but outside of that, like I said, we got a lot of interesting stuff as well. And obviously, once when baseball season comes back, you're going to get a shit ton of that almost a week on a weekly basis, as well. For those who are baseball fans out there too, so I got you guys covered. Or you'll see me tired doing that. Come spring,
I have,
that
but
is.
here's the thing: in order for me to do baseball content with you, I have to get back into your MLB TV
Yeah,
because my brother stopped paying for it because it's expensive as shit. So I might have to get back in. I'm gonna have to get back into your MLB TV, but I'm not gonna do it now. But we get to baseball
but
season.
yeah, once spring comes around, like so our first, because obviously our first game of the week will be Yankees and Astros on my 27th birthday at 4:10. Because obviously me working at 3, it's the only best ways to do it because I got to do like the 3, like the obviously the more the 4 o'clock to. And no, I'm not going to be doing the 10 o'clock slots because I'm not staying up till. Especially me, got to get up every 6, like every day, almost every single day at 6 a.m.
Yeah,
But
we're
outside,
not gonna do like the 10 o'clock time slots. That's yeah,
But outside of
yeah.
that, if you guys, but I appreciate it. And outside of that, I got nothing else to add. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And whenever my computer, oh, and I'm sorry, I'm kind of fucking up some stuff. But outside of that, we'll see
What
you
are you fucking
guys.
up? Wait,
But
What are you fucking up?
well, there's a little bar here on Restream. It's what's this
I don't
design and
see it.
shit like that.
I
Well,
don't see it.
but yeah, but outside of that, if you guys, outside of that, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.